everyone, I'm JoltKing627, and today I have a very important announcement. For a multitude of reasons, including a very busy work life, I will be stepping down from the Foam News Collective. But before I sign off for the final time, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the mod spotlights from this past year, and pick a Spotlight of the Year. Roll the footage! This episode on the mod spotlight, we have Reddit user The Tactory's Nerf Rhino 3.0. With this integration lacks in bright colors, it makes up for with being stupidly clean and quite creative. From what I can tell, the base blaster is a Rhino fire, but flipped on its side? I also see bits of Raven, Maverick, Vulcan, Charger, and even the Tri-Strike's barrel on there. It appears to fire from both barrels, but has the option to plug the top magwell with a tactical rail. I've never seen anything like this, and while it's a tad realistic for my taste, it still blows me away. Well done. This episode's mod spotlight goes to Casual Jerry for his Eve of Revenge, a hammer-primed rough cut. This mod is absolutely gorgeous. It uses obviously a rough cut, with the power system from the Roblox Jailbreak Armory pistol, specifically the green one, and a barricade grip integrated as well. It's got a custom-made metal trigger and metal hammer, as well as some hand-drawn art on it, which looks beautiful. In terms of performance, he's claiming it gets 60 to 65 FPS on the top two barrels and 50 to 60 FPS on the bottom two barrels, which isn't too shabby for what it is. Overall, it's a neat concept, and it was accomplished well. Nice work! This episode on the mod spotlight, we're going to do something a little bit different. Ever since the Nerf Rival Pilot hit shelves, it's become an instant modding favorite, and I wanted to show some of the cool things the community's been doing with them. In terms of 3D printing, user Nebuchadnezzar on Thingiverse has uploaded some files for shells that you can just stick into the barrel of the Pilot. They look pretty cool, and there's a couple different ammo types there. Xbox Games has made drop-in inline clip and single barrel kits for it as well. There's no shortage of traditional mods either. Iron Gopher made his take Megadarts, and with the help of a little bit of K25+, it's hitting some spicy numbers at about 115 FPS. Axel Sorax used faux barreling to make theirs take Firefly shells, which is really cool. GSP simply shoved a Scar barrel down it and glued dart storage to the side, and it works pretty well. All of this to say, the Nerf Rival Pilot is clearly a really awesome blaster, and I can't wait to see what our amazing community does with it next. This episode's mod spotlight goes to Iron Frankenzilla for his mini Stryfe AK. Is it a realistic shape? Yes, but I think the bodywork and especially that paint job really speak for themselves on this one. The hand-drawn lines are incredibly clean, and the bubble wrap details really make this pop. Internally, he's gone with a very odd choice of Helverine 180 motors with worker cage and wheels, and while he doesn't give any FPS numbers, I have no doubt that this thing hits pretty hard. Overall, very nicely done. This episode's mod spotlight goes to Not Enough Nerf for his Elite Junior Explorer mod. At first it might appear like a very simple mod, but there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. On the inside, the Smart AR has been completely rebuilt with brass and parts from a Fang QS4. I'm very impressed. I've never seen someone rebuild a Smart AR like that before. With a spring upgrade from a Buzzsaw Clash Combat, his FPS is punching into the triple digits, which I would not have thought possible from an Elite Junior blaster. Very, very nice. If you haven't already seen Not Enough's video on this mod, I highly recommend you check it out. Link will be in the description. This episode's mod spotlight goes to Space from the Discord for his fully automatic Flywheel Recon. I know I have a bit of a soft spot for the jank, but hear me out. This mod is a prime example of someone using what they have available to them to make something really cool. From what I understand, it's using what was a broken Recon, the stock cage from a Stryfe, Kuryaka's 3D printable auto pusher, and it's running all off of 6 AA alkaline batteries. The performance probably isn't all that great, but does it really need to be? Nice work. Today on the mod spotlight, we have an incredible collaboration build between Grim Reaper 2458 and Iron Gopher. The blaster is named Brittlestar, and it has to be one of the most beautiful integrations I have ever seen. The integration and bodywork was done by Grim, while the paint and greebles were done by Gopher. The integration itself was inspired by Mr. Nathan's Jackal and is comprised of many different blasters, including Stryfe, Raven, Magstrike, Longshot Front Gun, and even a Ravonix 360. It's even got a little one-shot master key made from a Buzzsaw Air Max Extreme 1. Internally, Brittlestar is rocking a 43.5mm Daybreak cage, Fang revamp motors, and N-War 2022 Cyclone wheels. The already great-looking integration is really brought to life by Gopher's incredible paintwork and weathering. A huge congratulations to both Grim and Gopher. This thing turned out so well. If you want to learn more about Brittlestar, Grim has a whole series of videos about it on their YouTube channel. They go into a lot more detail in those videos than I could here, so I highly recommend you check them out. And drop them a sub while you're at it. Link will be in the description. This episode's mod spotlight goes to Banshee Indian for his Perses. It's got a color scheme of green, brown, black, and orange, but what really steals the show is the weathering and those awesome stickers. It's got an extended hopper up top and a flashlight on the side. It's even got one of those nice leather-wrapped grips that Banshee is known for. On the inside, it's completely stock, but it's a Perses, so it's good as is. Overall, this is excellent work. Well done. If you want to talk to Banshee, he can be found in the r/Nerf Discord server. This episode's mod spotlight goes to Beret for his Mark 1.2 Viperstrike mod. I make no secret of it. I love the silly snake blaster, and I'm really happy to see people do things with them. Apparently this mod is as easy as putting half-inch PVC down the barrel of the Viperstrike and then adding some E-tape on the end and shoving it onto the muzzle of the 1.2. It's probably not the best attachment method, seeing as in the gameplay footage on Brett's video you can see darts getting stuck in the barrel multiple times. But let's be honest, if you're putting the Viperstrike front end on something, you're not doing it to be practical. This mod brought a genuine smile to my face. Well done! This episode's mod spotlight goes to Grim Reaper 2458 for their integration that they have dubbed Meteora. Grim is always pumping out really cool integrations, and this is no exception. The core blaster is a modulus ECS-10 with the stock coming from an Alpha Hawk and iron sights in the front from a Maverick and iron sights in the back from a Magnus. It's painted up in this really beautiful color shift paint that goes from gold to purple. It looks beautiful. Internally, it's running on a 42mm cage, cyclones, and Fang revamped motors. Overall, another awesome mod. I highly recommend you check out the video they have on their YouTube channel. Link will be in the description box below. Anybody remember the old Buzzsaw? It's a manually powered flywheeler that shoots ballistic balls, and actually shoots them pretty well. You don't see people using them often because of just how difficult it is to find ballistic balls. Well, this episode's mod spotlight goes to Reddit user Every7 for their mod that makes the Buzzsaw take rival rounds instead of ballistic balls. They used a bunch of custom 3D printed pieces to make it take rival stick mags from the top. The main flywheel has $2.80 worth of nickels in it to give it weight, and it has ball bearings for friction, and the whole blaster apparently weighs 2 pounds, which is insane. They're claiming ranges of up to 25 feet, which is about what a normal Buzzsaw will get anyway. They also note that it'll just randomly go into full auto sometimes and dump your magazine. And they also say that the forces involved in the spinning wheel actually make it want to flop out of your hand, which is hilarious. This whole mod is super silly, and I love it. Well done. This blaster probably doesn't need an introduction. It's the 95 Crossbow. It was a staple of modding for many years, but these days it's more of a collector's piece. Well, today on the mod spotlight, Pizza actually went and modded one. Pizza put a lot of effort into overhauling this thing, as is evident with all of the custom parts, including the plunger rod. Even the priming handle is custom made out of polycarbonate. It uses a Caliburn plunger tube and a skirt seal with K25, and everything inside is reinforced with polycarbonate sheeting and epoxy putty. With all that reinforcement, it weighs about 2 pounds. The thing takes old school speed loaders, so it's CPVC barrels with worker scars on the end for accuracy, and hits about 215 FPS. And finally, on the outside, it has a Submarino Fabrications Southeast Slugs sticker. Looks pretty snazzy. Honestly, this mod is amazing. It's something you rarely see anymore. Very well done. Pizza has a video on their YouTube channel about this mod, and I highly recommend you check it out. Link will be in the description. Today on the mod spotlight, we have Insane Weasel from the Discord, with their modified Fortnite SMG that they have dubbed Grandma's Flip Flop. Apparently, the whole thing is themed around the character Christine Healer from Bluey. The color scheme really matches the character, which you can actually see on the stickers that they put on the side. Internally, it's got triggers and a mag release from Rare Earth, and an extended pusher from Silver Fox Industries. For performance, it's getting 120 FPS off of its 41.5mm worker aluminum cage, Krakens, and Bulldogs. Overall, the build executes its theme pretty well and performs well while it's at it. Great job! Before I go, I just wanted to add that because of the demise of Reddit, It just got that much harder to find candidates for this spotlight. So if you could please submit things in the Discord, it really helps. This episode on the Mod Spotlight, to nobody's surprise, we have Boomslang by Iron Gopher. Boomslang is an integration of a rival Hypnos, a Chaos, and a Rapidstrike. The build is very clearly snake-themed, as you can tell by the muzzle, and of course the snakeskin pattern that is on the entire blaster. Even the name, Boomslang, is actually Afrikaans for tree snake. This build has all of the features you can possibly imagine. It's got LEDs, it's got an ammo counter, and even a laser pointer. As is normal with Gopher's work, the cosmetics of this blaster are amazing, from the sticker bomb stock to all of the weathering and the custom decals. Performance-wise, this thing is no joke either. With its dual-stage pulsars powered by Krakens and Lokis, it's hitting 180 to 190 FPS, depending on darts. All that with an original MTV Rhino motor combined with a resistor to get him an 8 darts per second rate of fire. Overall, both inside and out, this build is absolutely incredible. Well done, Gopher! I highly recommend you check out Gopher's post about this blaster. There's a ton of lore that he put into this build, and it's really cool, honestly. Link will be in the description. This episode on the Mod Spotlight, we have Beast Mode by SillyMerc101. This blaster is a very odd combination. It's a demolisher for the main blaster, with a Mega XL Double Crusher as a master key. This mod is super unique. I've never really seen anyone do this with a Mega XL blaster, just because of how large it is. It's apparently made particularly stable because the Double Crusher actually butts up against the magazine. The stock appears to be a combination of the regulator mag holding stock and the stock from the Double Crusher to allow the storage for 2 extra Mega XL rounds. Internally, the Double Crusher is stock, while the Demolisher has a 42mm cage, worker smooths, and Krakens. Did I mention it also has LEDs that turn on when you rev it? Absolutely love the color fade paint job on this. It looks great. Well done, SillyMerc. This episode's mod spotlight comes to us from Prickly's Nerf mods for this heavily modified Nerf Rapidstrike. Right off the bat, the aesthetics of this blaster are amazing. The Hydro Dip is beautiful, as is the color selection. The integration is composed of 2 Rapidstrikes, a Centurion, a Stockade, a Demolisher, and a Recon barrel. Did I mention also that internally it's an absolute beast? The thing has a dual-stage band blaster's cage, with 42K motors going into 74K motors, and it should be hitting around 300 FPS, which is pretty insane for a flywheeler. Well done, Prickly, this is an amazing mod, inside and out. Prickly has a whole video about this blaster on his YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you check out. Link will be in the description. Today's mod spotlight comes to us courtesy of a familiar face from the Discord, Axel Sorax. He calls it Sling Down or Take Fire. Both work, apparently. This mod has taken the Nerf rival Takedown and basically made it look like the ever-lovable Zombie Strike Sling Fire. It's got Shanye's lever action kit from Silver Fox Industries, as well as an extended stock from AK Blaster Mod. The extended front end is made using the front from a rival sideswipe, though the gimmick of the curved shot line is not retained, and also a cosmetic piece from the X-Shot long shot. And most importantly, it has the whole Zombie Strike aesthetic, from the cloth wrap on the grip to the green and brown taken from the Sling Fire. He even used custom-made stencils to get the Zombie Strike logo. The whole thing looks great, like it was meant to be that way from the start. Well done! Today on the Mod Spotlight, we have something from Discord user ClinicallyInsane. He calls it the NSD50, aka the Dubstep Blaster. That's right, it blasts music as well as foam. The blaster appears to consist of a Vulcan, a Storm Charge, a Longshot stock, and a rival Charger, as well as a Recon barrel. And of course, a giant speaker and amplifier. Internally, it's got a worker 42.5mm cage, worker smooth wheels, Neo Rhino motors, a Rapidstrike pusher with the Neo Hellcat inside, and a PWM for a controllable rate of fire. It's even got a spring return charging handle. The creator also has a whole bunch of really interesting lore behind this blaster, which he put into a Google document, which we will link in the description below. Overall, absolutely amazing job, well done! It's not often you see a blaster that can assault you in both a physical and auditory manner. This episode's Mod Spotlight comes to us courtesy of Foam Mando over on the Discord for these beautifully dyed Mavericks. Presumably, these started off life as a clear or Sonic Maverick, and now they've been dyed crazy colors. We've got pink, blue, and a darker green than Sonic green. They may just be simple Mavericks, which obviously aren't the highest performers, but in this case, I don't think that really matters. They look beautiful. Well done. Today on the Mod Spotlight, we have something rather different from the sort of thing that I normally choose, that being something mostly 3D printed. Coming from Null over on the Discord, we have his Ryobi Nemesis. The mod is pretty simple. It's using Donut Cat's Ryobi battery adapter and Gyrosoft's 400-round hopper, with a one-of-a-kind chainsaw grip that Gyrosoft designed. It's got a Ryobi logo on the side, and it's even got a DeWalt theme Mighty Mama for HVZ. Very nice, I'm a sucker for a theme. This episode's Mod Spotlight comes to us from Antoruu over on Reddit for this modified Tri-Strike. In terms of internal upgrades, it just has a 7kg spring installed, but externally it has a very nice paint job, with the base color of white and accents in red. Their choice of attachments to use for this build is quite nice, and the paint job is very clean. I especially like the use of the Buzzbeat Tactical Storm Barrel. It's not really often that you see those used for anything. This is a fantastic mod, especially given that the creator says this is their first paint job. Very well done. As some of you know, I may or may not have a thing for Recons. So today on the Mod Spotlight, we have a neat red Recon by Faolan over on the Discord. From the outside, you can see it's been converted to pump action with a worker kit, and has a very nice looking 3D printed stock by Blaster Forge on Thingiverse. But to me, what makes this mod cool is not what's on the outside, but rather what's on the inside. It's using what is apparently, from what I understand, the very first Orange Mobworks kit. It's still a reverse plunger, but now made completely out of metal. Super cool, you don't see kits like this used very often, especially nowadays. Its spring is a 7.5kg turf spring, and that's getting it about 90 to 100 FPS, which doesn't sound like a lot by today's standards, but given it's a reverse plunger, that's pretty decent numbers. Overall, it's a super nice old school mod. Nice work! This episode on the Mod Spotlight, we have a blaster from recurring winner Grim Reaper 2458. Grim is always pumping out really high quality integrations, and this blaster, dubbed Spartan, is no exception. Inspired by Orange Crate 76's skeleton key, Spartan is a combination of an Alpha Hawk and a rough cut. It's been painted up in a darker but still aesthetically pleasing color scheme of black and dark green, with some pretty nice weathering on there too. Features like the patches or the hanging tag really tie this one together. Nice work, Grim!
And for Mod of the Week, we're featuring what Reddit user Cancer Upon Cancer refers to as the Trial and Error, though perhaps a slightly more apt and definitely more punny name could be the Arm & Hammer, because obviously what we're featuring here today is a half-and-half integration between the Nerf Elite Strong Arm and the Nerf Zombie Strike Hammer Shot. It's a really nice and clean integration and a really cool paint job. Any integration definitely takes skill, but this one takes extra amount of skill, especially internally, because you're taking a hammer primed blaster and with a different rotation mech than the Strong Arms rotation mech. So basically he transplanted the Strong Arms rotation mech inside the Hammer Shot and got that to mate up with the plunger tube system of the Hammer Shot for a smooth, flawless rotation on that blaster, which is really cool. The other thing that I really like about this mod quite a bit, and the main reason why I picked it, is that it's generally pretty economical. A lot of thrift stores in the area are pretty dry. One of the things that you generally always find is sidearms. So Mavericks in the past, but definitely the Strong Arm is becoming really ubiquitous these days. To steal a term from Captain Xavier, they're also generally pretty cheap. So a lot of times, you know, your bigger blasters are overpriced, but not the Strong Arm. So basically what this user did was save a ton of Strong Arms over his thrifting career, pop the cylinders out, and do a drop cylinder mod to this cool integration that was already cool on its own. So it's a pretty cool job. It's a really nice integration with a really good paint job and a really nice fine-tuning internals to get that blaster to work. So for that, Cancer Upon Cancer, you win Mod of the Week this week on FNC with the Trial and Error. Congratulations.
Wow, there sure were a lot of really cool mods this year. But one stuck out to me. And that would be, drumroll please, Boomslang by Iron Gopher. It was cool then, and it's cool now. Congratulations, Gopher, your work is amazing. And with that, I make my departure. It's been a great year, and I hope for more great years in the future for the Foam News Collective. As always, thank you all for watching. Now excuse me, I got some hot glue to go eat.